Good morning.
Good morning.
Is greatness fostered or found? A boy came home from school one day and he had a letter. He gave the letter to his mother and he said to her, "My teacher has given me this letter and told me I must only give it to you." His mother opened the letter and with tears in her eyes she read, "Your son is a genius. This school is too small for him. The teachers aren't good enough to teach him. Please teach him at home." After many years had passed, after the boy had become one of the greatest inventors of the century, after his mother had died, he was looking through some old family documents. He found in a drawer, in the back of a drawer, a piece of paper. He opened that piece of paper and he read, "Your son is stupid. He can no longer come to this school." This great inventor cried and cried for hours. And after he had finished crying, he opened his diary and wrote, "Thomas Edison, a stupid boy who by a hero mother became a genius of his century." What if the future of a child is more about our ability to enhance and foster their uniqueness and believe in their potential than their ability to work hard? You know, more and more we're recognizing that children have different learning styles and there are different reasons why a child may not reach our expectations on learning or behavior. But the question that we need to ask is, how good are we at providing opportunities to enhance a child's uniqueness within our systems? What would have happened to Thomas Edison today? How would he have managed in one of our classrooms? Are there children sitting in a classroom today with potential for greatness within them, but because they're misunderstood, they never actually reach that potential? I believe that there is potential in every person on the planet to be great in a particular area. They just don't recognize it. A few years ago, I had a housekeeper called Barbara who used to help in the house, and Barbara was quite elderly. And Barbara used to look through my dustbins at the end of the day to see if I'd thrown away anything valuable. And one night, Barbara phoned me up and said, "Jackie, you've thrown away a handbag. Did you mean to throw away that bag?" And I remembered and I said, "Yes, I have." She said, "Can I have it?" And I said, "Yes, you can, Barbara." She said, "Jackie, in the handbag there was a ring. Did you mean to throw away that ring?" And I remembered that I had bought my daughter a cheap dress ring. And so I said to her, "Yes, I did." And she said, "Can I have it?" And I said, "Yes, you can." When I said that, she became really emotional and said, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much." And I became a little bit concerned at that point. When Barbara came through the front door to my house the following day, she was still saying to me, "Thank you so much, Jackie, thank you so much." And she held out her hand to show her finger. On her finger was not the cheap dress ring that I had imagined, but was my solitaire diamond engagement ring that my husband had given me 30 years earlier when he asked me to marry him. And so because Barbara was emotional and saying, "Thank you so much," I didn't have the heart to tell her, "Actually, that's my engagement ring and I want it back." So to this day, Barbara is wearing my sparkling diamond and she has no idea that it is such a valuable thing. I said to my husband, "You're engaged to Barbara." But the reason why I'm saying this is she had no idea of the value that she was holding. And I want to say, I believe there are people who go through life unaware of the value that they have within them for their skills, unaware of the potential that rests within them, that is often linked to their uniqueness. You know, comparison can be an issue for us. It's a challenge. How many of us allow comparison to distract us from what we can actually do and end up inhibiting our potential? Our value systems are often based on a measure of how we think we should look or act or speak or work or perform. And this is usually based and rooted in comparison. With comparison, we can place a higher priority on replicating someone else's uniqueness or someone else's genius rather than embracing our own. And this is really absurd, because it will affect our well-being and will affect our future. We try and fit in rather than realizing that actually our unique characteristics could be the very vehicle for our success. I'd like to show you a picture. Oh. I'm going to get you a picture. And it's a picture of a duck amongst chickens. If you have a look here, these are the chickens in my sister's garden. And if you look carefully, you can see that one of them isn't a chicken, it's a duck. Now this duck sits, walks, moves everywhere with the chickens. There are ducks in the garden, the ducks go off, but this duck stays with the chickens. Why does he do that? Because he thinks he's a chicken. We think what happened was that when he hatched, he saw chickens and got his identity as a chicken. Now this is a natural biological occurrence. It's called imprinting. And this duck has imprinted on chickens. And so this duck, which we call Dickin, will stand with the chickens and watch as the ducks walk by and swim on the lake. This duck will stand pecking in the ground with the chickens in the chicken pen while the other ducks fly by in formation. This duck does not know that he can fly. He doesn't know that he can swim. Why? Because he thinks he's a chicken. Could this be like us? Do we imprint on the world around us and lose the sense of our unique identity? Do we imprint our children on the world around them and lose a sense of the value of their uniqueness? You see, our understanding of ourselves is based on, our understanding of ourselves is the way that we navigate the world around us. Our understanding of ourselves, our perception of ourselves, will affect the decisions we make and will affect the steps we take in life. It gives us courage if we think we can do something. It will cause us to fear if we think we can't do something. We make decisions based on how we perceive ourselves. And if we perceive ourselves as a chicken when we're actually a duck, we could miss out. You know, a child's identity, research has shown that a child's identity is based on, is influenced by their environment, their values, and their unique self. That means that who you are today, the thoughts that you have, the feelings about yourself, the decisions you make, has been influenced by your early environment. That gives us an amazing opportunity to provide children with a nurturing and with a really positive early environment, that we can encourage them to be confident in their unique identity. We need to encourage children to explore, to be curious, to learn new things, to have fail-friendly environments for them where they'll step out and they'll have courage to be unique. Our task is to help children to pursue their interests and to enable them to overcome the challenges that might be faced by our culture or our systems. Pioneering schools in Norway they've abandoned traditional subject teaching, and they've opted for cross-curricular project-based learning. This has enabled those schools to be flexible in the way children learn. It's given them chances to learn by doing, to learn inquiry-based learning. And this is an ideal environment for fostering uniqueness. You know, we are a culture that likes labels. I like labels. We label things. They help us brand products, businesses, even people. But we've got to be careful about labeling people. You know, labels can help us, and we're drawn to labels because they help us to understand and recognize something. But if you label a person or label a child, you're in danger of inhibiting their uniqueness. I believe in evidence-based practice. I work with evidence-based practice. It's important. And I believe it's important to look at the efficacy of approaches, the efficacy of programs that we use. But if an evidence base or a label puts a child in a box or a person in a box, then we've got to be very careful, because children will always surprise you. Let me give you an example. I'm a speech and language therapist. I love working with families. I love working with children. And 14 years ago, a family came to see me. They were very, very upset at the time because their 5-year-old son, called Babu, had been diagnosed with severe autism. Babu came into the room. It was a hot day. He was wearing a pink jacket done up with his hood up and tied under his chin, his little round face sweating because he was so hot, but he wouldn't take his jacket off. He was wearing his slippers. And Babu's mother said to me, look, I don't know what to do because he's been diagnosed with severe autism. They tell me he will never speak. He's 5 years old now. He has no words at all. And the professionals have said that there is no point in giving him any treatment for his speech because evidence-based says he won't speak. Well, I said to her, I don't know whether we're going to get him to speak, but let's try. Now, Babu had a unique interest in circles. He loved anything circular, wheels, balloons, bubbles, anything that was circular shape. And we took his specific interest and created a speech program around that interest. He was so motivated to learn when it became something that he was interested in. And Babu's, before long, started to sing some words, usually things that were circular. And then he started saying sentences. And then he started talking so much that we had to tell him to stop talking. Babu went to a mainstream school. He got his GCSEs, he passed exams. He's a 19-year-old boy doing really well. He surprised us. People will surprise us. We have to be so careful not to put people in boxes. You see, the art of fostering uniqueness will take focus. It will take flexibility. It may cause us to value things we didn't value before. But our schools and colleges could be a place of wonder, could be a place where potential is unlocked, could be a place where confidence explodes. I'd like to finish with a quote from Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was probably the greatest scientist ever. They say that he struggled at school and that he was alienated at school, that he probably had autism. But Albert Einstein said, everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life thinking it's stupid. I just wonder if there are people trying to climb trees when they should be swimming. Thank you.